Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. It's time!
GriffX, you know what I'm saying? Hey, that's a show. I already know what it is. This man's Griffoutt, 2F2Ts, aka DJ Griff.
You already know it's your boy DJ Black X, back and we black out. So we got a special edition for the show today. Special edition. We definitely gonna be talking about some real sensitive topics today, and we got two guests that I know and love personally. They are my close friends and associates. So why don't y'all introduce yourselves?
Father Amir Ali. Stop playing. My father's name is Frank Matthew. I'm his roommate Amir, senior here at Cabrini. That's what you tell the people.
Tell them about yourself. Your major, what you plan on doing?
Communications. I plan on just doing something, being successful.
Alright, that's one. And then we got Haji.
Ayana. Ayana Haji McCoy. My name is Haji. Can you hear me?
Oh, that joint over here, all the way down.
Oh, there we go. My fault, radio.
I'm a junior here, an international business major. Yeah.
Alright.
Let's get it.
So today's topics of the day will have to be, I don't know, what you want to say, Griff? What you want to say?
So what we had planned, you already know this is Switchup. What we had planned, we was going to talk about Kim Kardashian and her braids, her Bo Dallas braids, and pretty much cultural appropriation. What's the difference between cultural appropriation and cultural appreciation? But we kind of had a discussion off air. It's kind of talking about like,
this is a little, so we're going to get to that. But right now we got a little mini debate, and it is basically who, in the long scheme of things, who can and cannot say the N-word.
And remember, that was like our third show.
That was our third show. So we bringing back a throwback for our loyal fans, if we have any fans. So it's like, so I'm gonna propose the question: who can and can't say the N-word? So you already know in this show we go left to right. So, my man Griff, how do you feel about this? Has your opinion changed since last time?
No, my opinion hasn't changed. I still think it's a word. It's just like a taboo word you shouldn't say. Me personally, I feel like even me as a black person shouldn't say it to other black people. But I know people do say it, and I don't have a problem with that if you're my skin color and things like that. But I feel like if you're not black, you don't have the same experiences as black people, and you don't identify as black, then you shouldn't. Why do you want to say a word? If like, I'm gonna still with X that off air. It doesn't do anything for you, for real. Like, it doesn't add. It's not a fun word. Like, I don't know why people want to be like, oh, bro, I have to say it. It's in a song. It's my favorite song. Like, bro, you can skip the word. It's fine. You're not missing out on anything. That's it.
All right, Mary, how you feeling?
I'm gonna say, I guess morally, nobody should be saying cousins or things like that. But we gonna say it. We welcome them to say it. But I mean, yeah, for black people, if we do end up saying it, I feel like we have the right to say it. Whereas though if any other race was to say it, it's a little sketchy. Not even a little sketchy. It's saying it at all, but
Alright. How you feel, Haji?
I feel like it depends on the context. So if a different race is saying it in a song, I personally don't have a problem with it. Because I know, like, I'm big on music, and if I'm big on concerts, and if my favorite artist isn't the same skin color as me, or if I'm not black and my favorite artist is black and they say that word and they wrote it in their song, I feel like if I'm jamming out and I'm like really in tune and hype, why should I have to bleep it out?
Alright, so you're in a switch up, so I like to play an animosity role here. So how about this? So you said, and quote me if I'm wrong, you said that if an artist says it in a song, no matter the skin color?
If you're doing it because you actually really like the artist, you really like the song, you like their music, not just because like you want to be extra just to have a chance to say the word.
So I'm gonna pose two questions. So one question is, if a white artist who raps, who's from the same demographic as somebody from the hood, or something like that, if they decide to say it, is it wrong?
I would say no.
Why?
Because if they're from the same demographic as the rest of the people who claim that they have the right to say it, why can't the white person?
They should.
Because
just mad disrespectful.
Because of the color of the skin. But if I'm white and all my friends are black and I've grown up in the setting, why would you expect me not to?
I mean,
you're just like,
that's an excuse.
You're just being ignorant to history at that point. Like, if you're a white rapper and you going around saying N-word, you know the roots of the N-word. Like, you know some people are black and they're going to get offended by that. No matter what your environment is like, another person's environment is not like that. Somebody's going to get offended. Even if it's one person out of that millions of people, it's one person.
You now have influence.
Exactly.
So, like, this is what I'm going to say. This is what I'm going to say today. And then, like, I don't mind a little animosity, a little bit of over talking. We don't got to sit here all kumbaya. Let's get some anger flaring. So, like, this is what I'm going to say today. And my answer has not changed since the last time. I don't believe if you are anything but black, you should not be saying the N-word. I don't care if you're Latino. I don't care if you're Asian. If you are not black, if you don't have deep-seated roots in Africa, I'm talking about, like, if you do not get effects from anything from black people, like, I'm literally talking targeted. If you are not a black person, you should not be saying that word. And it doesn't matter if it's not fair to them or not. Because I'm going to raise this question. Why does it matter so much that they can say that word when it's something that literally we are trying to keep in something for ourselves, but it feels like
it wasn't ours in the first place. Like, we didn't go around calling each other N-words. They called us that.
Exactly. So when we came back and we changed that word to my friend or my buddy or my guy or my pal, and it's now ours, like, we took it because it was meant for us. It was only about us.
So we've changed our outlook on it. So why should, if my perspective on it is changed?
That's why.
Put it this way, like, if it's literally, like, why would you want somebody, doesn't matter how they affiliate themselves now. Like, I don't get it. Like, why? I honestly get so frustrated when I hear black people fighting for white people to have the right to say the N-word, because they literally gain nothing from not being able to not say, or lose nothing.
And I'm not fighting for them to have the right to say it. I'm saying everybody should say it or nobody should say it.
But why is it that? Why can't we just have
that's
our own
like
thing?
saying a regular curse word. Why can't
it's like not, though.
It is.
It's not though, because it's a simple fact. Like, why? Like, I don't get it. Like, why do they have to have that privilege as well when they have so many other privileges in this world? And this is the one privilege that we had.
A word is a word.
A word is not a word, because a word can scar you more than a knife could.
And how you take it is depending on if it scars you or not. When you allow that power, when you allow the word to scar you, that's where the power comes in.
You're talking about yourself. I'm talking about black.
I'm talking about black people in general. If a white person called you the N-word, you can take it how you want to take it. The word does not hold the power. How you perceive it is what holds the power.
What caused you to perceive it that way?
Whatever your background is. Whatever.
And your background is what?
Your background could be, black people have different backgrounds.
Well, take what you said. If you black, so your background is black, African American, however you describe yourself. If a racist white person, no matter how you take it, calls you the N-word, they were trying to what you?
They were trying to offend you.
And they were trying to do what? Disrespect you, right?
Right.
Would a racist white person come to another white person and call them an N-word?
No.
Why? Because they wouldn't what them?
Disrespect them.
Exactly. So because that word is disrespectful from who it came from, no matter what context, no matter what the origins of it, you should just be able to say, I understand, I can't say it. It's like if you got like a sibling or something, and all your life you've been calling your sibling a bedwetter, and then your friend been around, y'all grew up together. You know what I mean? Like, your friend together, y'all grew up, but you know your little brother or sister is sensitive about being called a bedwetter. You can call them that because y'all family, but somebody else can't do that. You know what I mean? So it's the same thing. Like, you got, like, it's for little brother and them. Like, you can't do none of that. Like,
but also, if somebody outside your family calls you a bedwetter, and you know you're a bedwetter, why are you taking offense? Or if you know they're joking about it, why are you taking offense to it?
Because not everything is meant for everyone.
This is true. This is very true.
What you feel like, Griff? How you feel?
No, I'm saying, I'm just sitting here listening, absorbing, and everything like that. I know it seemed like I disappeared, but you said what people take is like, it depends where it's coming from. Like how you said, like, only a family member can call me a bedwetter, but my neighbor might not be able to call me that. You know what I'm saying? So it depends on where it's coming from. That's kind of where my like little 3 cents. But I know we're having a real educational conversation and kind of repeating what we did last season, but we still.
All I'm saying is, this is a PSA. If you are not BLACK, don't say the N-word. Please don't, because it will offend no matter who you are. I don't care how liberal you are. I don't care how many black friends you got, how many charitable organizations. I don't care if it's your favorite mixtape. Bleep the word. Literally. Bleep it. Internally bleep it. Don't say it. Because what works for some may not work for others. Just because a black person may give you permission to do it, don't mean you have the permission to do it.
I think it all depends on the context.
There is no context.
There is a context because a song that y'all saying your favorite song, your favorite your favorite artist, but you have to be able to switch perspective. You have to be able to understand other people's point of view.
Listen, I have white friends that say the N-word.
Okay.
I grew up with them. I know they're not racist, but if they come up here or they go to X-Hood saying the N-word, they might get beat up.
I understand that.
But
I'm not saying that everybody should just walk around saying the N-word.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I would let them know, like, you come around here, like, that same energy not gonna fly.
This is the biggest thing. You giving more like a freedom of speech type thing, and just freedom of speech literally does not say that you can be able to say whatever you want and no consequence. It just says you can say whatever you want.
There may be some consequences.
But there will be consequences behind what you say. Yeah. So life isn't fair. There's no such thing as good or. I've said this before on the show. There's no such thing as good or bad. There's necessary and unnecessary. And for them to have the ability to say that word now is no longer necessary, because you don't hear nobody else fighting for the right to call any other race or gender that offensive word. If a woman was to come to you and say, no matter, I don't care what your sisters say, I don't care what your girlfriend says, don't say the B word around me, you have to respect that. And you can't argue them down, because if you do, you sound what? Misogynistic, you sound like you immature, you sound like you a bunch of negative things. So why can't people have that same energy and attitude when it comes to black people and the N-word?
But people still go around still calling women the B word, right or wrong.
Yes, but have you ever heard anybody arguing for the people that have the, I'm not saying that they don't say it. I'm not saying that there's not people out there. I'm asking, do you hear people arguing or debating whether it's right or not for a male to say the B word to a female? Because no matter where you go, universally, it's going to be said you shouldn't say it and it's bad. But universally, for some reason around the world, there's always some mixed discussion about whether white people in songs or around different people should be able to say the N-word now, because it shouldn't have offense. Who are you to tell somebody that they shouldn't be offended by a word when literally we all still suffer from the same effects from slavery because of that word?
Okay.
That button, bro.
You're right. You're right. Regardless, at the end of the day, people are still going to say, like, no matter how hard we fight it, there are still going to be people out there that are going to say the word. That's right.
Yeah, that's
so why are we wasting so much energy and time to try to keep them from saying it?
For the same reason why we fight for racial equality. No matter where we go, we're still going to get racial inequality because of what we look like, but we still sit time and effort to do that.
This is true. I agree with that. But a word a word compared to racial equality?
Yes, because that's part of it.
It's a part of it, but take it out. I feel like this has been the longest argument, like, since the beginning of everything. I feel like just take the power away from the word. I feel like everybody should say it, or no one should say it.
So you believe that everybody should have the ability to say the N-word?
All right, yes. So what if you're mixed? What if you're black and you're white? Then what?
If you black and you white, according to the one drop rule, you are black in America.
But you've been raised around white people.
If you've been raised around white people, you still black. They're not you.
So then you're basically, it's all constituted on the color of your skin.
It's all constituted on the color of your skin, because race
a word is constituted on the color of your skin.
Race is a social construct, and so are words. And
but that's us playing into the game of racial inequality.
You want to go somewhere, like, you can't go somewhere and expect to change things. You got to go there and work where it's at to change things. Like, you can't just go there and be like, don't do that no more. You can't do that.
That's what y'all are doing by saying, don't say the N-word.
No, we have reasons. You just coming in here and say, give up. Don't let
I'm not saying give up. I'm saying release your power. Release the angry, negative power that is attached to the word.
It's not.
Because you taking offense to it makes it seem like you're connecting it to the negative part.
How can you not to? How can you not take offense to it when a racist white person is saying it?
If a racist white person is saying it, okay, they're doing it intentionally to offend you. But if a person that is just singing a song to go along with the rest of the song, they're not doing it to offend you.
You can't tell people what to get offended by.
But I'm saying, if you genuinely understand that they're doing it not to offend you, why are you making such a big deal about it?
My mom gets offended when she hears me say the N-word. I don't even say the N-word.
Okay, so then...
My mom gets offended when she hears the N-word coming out anybody's mouth, black, white, whatever.
Right?
So the N-word is an offensive word.
It's an offensive word. So that's why I'm saying no one should say it?
No. It's a simple fact like this. I'm going to quote Ice Cube that said this. He said...
It's our word now.
It's our word now. It's like this. A knife can be a tool or a weapon. If Amir, Ramir, or any other black, or you, or any other African black person was to say it, it's more like a tool. Like, I know that we understand the history of that word. We understand the effects. We understand what it can mean, what it can do to certain people, and what it can feel like to be called that word in anger. Me and Amir have been called that word in anger before.
And I've been called that word
exactly.
As well.
So you can see the hatred and the animosity in the eyes. And it's not so much that we get offended, that we get so upset. It's that, wow, there's still really people out there like that. And in order to really realize who those people are, you need to limit restrictions on that word to see who's really going to cross that line.
But you can't restrict a person and what comes out of their mouth.
You can do it all the time. It's called having a filter.
But not everybody is going to oblige to your filter. Just because you say, this offends me, don't say it.
Let me ask you this. They could have said the same thing about segregation. They could have said the same thing about all that. Why fight? You know, it's already like that. We got our own schools. I'm not saying
don't fight for it. I'm saying
you did
change your perspective on the fight. That's what I'm saying.
We did. We did change our perspective. We changed our perspective to them not saying it because of these reasons. Ain't nobody just going to walk up and be like, nowadays, any civil-minded person that I believe, but if they hear somebody saying the word 9 times out of 10, if it's in a song, they'll probably be like, yo, just don't do that around me. 9 times out of 10. They'll say, don't do that around me. Why? Because they're offended. And we handle it better than most used to when they used to hear that word. Most used to be able to be up in arms and ready to fight. Nowadays, it's just like, don't do that. Don't say that. And then when you encourage the person to not do that and they take it upon themselves to still do it, now it's disrespect. And now it's no longer about the word. It's about you disrespecting me and my feelings. Because if Amir had something about him that he didn't like being called or something like that, it doesn't matter how long we've been friends. It doesn't matter how much I hear people around his family say it. If he tells me not to say it, I can use the same logic as your argument that he should just give up and not let it offend people, but that's just the way he feels about it. So why tell the person who's getting offended to not get offended anymore? That's like telling somebody that got beat up, well, you know, why didn't you fight back harder, or why don't you just accept the fact that you can't fight and you're just gonna continue to get beat up? Like, no, like
I'm not saying what? I'm not saying to give up the fight. I'm saying change the perspective. Because we've been trying this. Like, we've been trying this way, and clearly people are still saying it. Right or wrong? Right or wrong? We've been trying this technique of don't say that word. People are still saying it. Right or wrong?
Right.
So just try a new way. That's all I'm saying.
What's the new way? To let them say it?
To change the power of it. Not just through us, because us as black people, I'm saying, we can change the power between us, but that's not helping the rest of the world. We're not the problem. The problem is them. So other people that say the word intentionally or to be disrespectful.
This is the Switchup. GriffX is Switchup. We are direct as long as it's not offensive. So.
Okay. Other races that say the N-word to offend or to be disrespectful, we can't keep the power in between black people. That's not changing anything because we're not the problem at the end of the day. At the end of the day, other races are the problem. So therefore, you have to do whatever between the other races to change the issue.
Oh, yeah? Anybody else got something to say? Nah, we good? Alright, so we're going to take a quick little PSA, little public service announcement, and we just going to let y'all get to some extra stuff real soon. So, just hold your boots.
This is GriffX and Switchup. You're tuned in right now to 89.1 Cavalier Radio, Radnor, PA.
WYBF!
You already know what it is. It's your man's Griffoutt, 2 F's, 2 T's, aka DJ Griff.
You already know what it is. It's your boy DJ Black. We don't act like Blackout.
We in the studio with our 2 guests right here. You know what I'm saying?
You say y'all names real quick.
Amir.
Ayana.
Alright. So, what we're going to cover right now is Kim Kardashian's Bo Dallas braids. So if you lived under a rock,
Oh, Bo Derek.
Bo Derek, see, Bo Dallas.
Oh,
Bo Derek, whatever they trying to call him.
She disrespectful.
Shots.
Let me Google what she looks like in the pen.
Right. So if you lived under a rock, she has these like these long. I don't know why I want to say Beyonce braids, but long blonde hair braids, right? And she's calling them the Bo Derek braids.
What does Bo Derek mean?
Bo Derek is a person.
Yeah,
Oh.
Bo Derek's
Like
a
a white
person.
lady that had braids in the 70s.
And she's like, oh, it's inspired by her.
But those are black girl braids.
Why can't it be inspired by Bo?
Because that's not Bo Derek braids.
They look the exact same,
No, but
but
Like-
they do.
Ayana.
So, I'm gonna ask you
You
this.
see 10 females walking down the street with braids. How many of those females are gonna be black?
Most of them.
Alright, that's
So, that basically raises the question that we're going to basically come out and talk about the difference between cultural appropriation and then appreciation. So, how would you directly define cultural appropriation? And I'm going to start with my guess. So, we're going to start with Amir.
No, start with Amir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Amir.
I personally think in this situation, hair is hair. Like, okay, no, hair isn't hair. Yeah, hair is hair, depending on how she like portrays it is the thing. I don't think she's doing it to be offensive. She's married to a black man. Her children are half black. Half of her family are dealing with black men.
Mhm.
So I honestly don't think she's doing it to be offensive. But we can have long weaves and do all these things to make our hair look more like a white woman. So why can't she do it?
Okay. Go ahead.
that's not the point. The point is that she's taking black culture
And wearing it.
She's wearing it. Yeah, but
That's the
you
same
don't
thing as like
understand.
them
Like,
getting
it's-
butt injections
no, like
and
that's
lip
the thing.
injections.
When black people do it, it's not that. Like when she posted those photos, I seen a celebrity, an Instagram model post about it. It's like if I was to post those nude pictures on Instagram and I'm black, Instagram would have reported me, deleted the pictures, all that stuff. But when Kim Kardashian does it, it stays up there
because she's Kim Kardashian.
because she's a white.
Nicki Minaj
Celebrity.
puts up nude pictures
Nicki
right
Minaj
around.
does not put up nude pictures on Instagram.
She has put not
I follow
nude pictures, but
Nicki Minaj on
but
Instagram.
all right,
I know.
all right.
Thank you.
She
bro.
puts up half naked pictures.
No.
So what's the difference?
That's half naked. She put up nude pictures on Instagram.
I'm sure if Nicki Minaj did it,
No,
it wouldn't be
but
This
taken
is
down.
the thing. This is the thing. And
we don't do ifs.
This is the thing. I like to call it like this. If a black woman was to go up, and I know I'm not a black woman, but I'm a male, and I can speak on this as far as like how we would feel and how most people would feel, because we can agree that we live in a misogynistic world and a patriarchy at that. So if a black woman was to get up on Instagram and decide to pose a half naked picture with literally her titty out and only the blurred nipple. You can say that. It's not offensive, it's a body part. But, alright, her breast.
You're so
childish. If we was to go, if a black woman was to go out and show her breast, her bare breast on Instagram, she would be called everything under the sun, from a thought to a harlot. It wouldn't be deemed as fashionable, because I can quote for this. Just Hilarious received major backlash when she posted all she said was side boob and holding her son in a portrait photo. She received major backlash. They said, who is she to put that? But she is, and then at that point, Kim Kardashian is also a mother. She also has influence. She also has these things. You know what I mean? She's not asking to be nobody role model, but she is.
And to add on to that, when Obama became president, Michelle Obama wore a sleeveless shirt, and they called her like everything under like a rock or something. But when Trump's wife, Melania, whatever you say her name, was president, she take nude pictures. Isn't she like a porn star
She
or
is,
something
yeah.
like that? And they were vouching for her.
And the
so
thing-
you see
But
the
the-
difference between when you're white
And
you're
also
black.
the thing about it is
Absolutely,
just
I'm not fighting
But
that.
wait, just to comment also on the hair, like you gotta think about it. So one thing a black woman has that no other race of people has is empower wise is their hair. It's very different. It can be braided, it can be locked, it can be twisted, it can be extended. You can do whatever with a black woman's hair. You know what I mean? So like we even don't sit there and say like because we put weave in our and like what black women put weave in their hair and to make it look like white women. That's because it's been conditioned. That's a conditioning. That's not something we just picked up and said, let's do it because it looked nice. It's a conditioning thing. It's a social conditioning that we have to look to the Eurocentric look of beauty.
Right.
And then when we take back our own and have our own and been doing our own for so long, it's been demonized. It's been called unprofessional. It's been called ugly. It's been called nappy. It's been called bad, like everything negative. So when we want to finally own up to ours and black people start rising more in popularity as far as fashion-wise by our culture, now they want to accept it. Now they want to call it this and give it different names. Like for instance, they try to reinvent the hot comb. Like you can't reinvent something that was.
Didn't some type of some fashion industry redo Bantu knots and give it some different name?
Yeah. You know what I mean? That is cultural appropriation.
Yeah.
She and then the example that she's married to a black man, her family knows a black, that means nothing. That doesn't give you the permission.
That doesn't mean you should know better.
That just mean, if anything, that just mean you should know better. Like you shouldn't do stuff like that. Like, would you feel comfortable with? I personally don't feel comfortable when I see a white person with dreads, and it's more than a hairstyle. Because what black people is,
In
it's
other
like, do what
countries,
you wanna
in
do.
other countries, a lot of white people have dreads.
I mean, that to me, I just don't sit right. That's just one of the hairstyles that I just don't believe a white person should have, because dreads is more than
But
a
that's
hairstyle.
the same
It's a
thing.
spiritual thing.
I feel like we have so many double standards when it comes to black and white. That's you saying you don't like a white person having dreads. It's like a white person.
That's what you mean.
Okay, it's your opinion, but that's like a white person saying, "It's my opinion that a black woman's hair in its natural form is unprofessional."
I mean,
Yeah,
It's the same thing.
yeah.
So
that's why we
what?
had to.
what
That's why I've been told to cut my hair for the past 3 years now. If I want to ever get a job, that's why people can't have dreads if they want to get in.
Here's the
That's
difference.
why females will straighten their hair out. They wouldn't go into an interview with their hair like yours.
Here's the difference between my opinion and their opinion. My opinion won't stop them from getting a job.
Okay.
Point blank. Period. So like, I can say, if a white person with dreads walk in, they won't assume that they're. You gotta remember everything that comes with the hairstyle. If a mirror walks in with that hairstyle, they're going to.
But his
and he
hair
has
doesn't define him.
it doesn't define him in his personal level, but to the world we live in a very visual world, and he's a black man with dreads, with short dreads at that. He has tattoos. He walks in, say he has a short sleeve button up. They see his tattoos, they see his dreads. They're going to assume the worst,
They're
whether they
clutching.
say it out loud or not.
But
They're
when-
clutching their purse.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I'm not denying that.
So if you're not denying that, then I don't see the logic in trying to say that hair is just hair.
Because
We got a surprise guest in here. Go ahead and introduce yourself, surprise guest, that you always do.
My name is the Suburban Princess.
Oh, wait, you banned from here. I forgot.
Yeah.
Hold on. So, I was looking at the Bo Derek picture. So I understand why she said it's inspired by.
Yeah, I understand why.
It's literally the
Because they
exact
look just
same.
alike.
Exactly.
Well, my
But
thing.
if another white woman did it and wasn't this exact style, because she had the beads, she had the same patterns
Yeah.
and everything. But if she just did another regular hairstyle that we do all the time, then it would be appropriation. But I feel like her hairstyle right now is exactly inspired by this lady.
I think
Look at the picture.
I
I've
think.
seen it.
Yeah.
So
I feel like it looks exactly
like
the
I
same.
don't. It looks, but
Like
we
I'm not even,
we
like,
literally just recently started doing this hairstyle, like this summer I think.
Yeah.
So maybe that's also a reason why she did it. But then she probably looked up a white lady and was like, "Ooh, this looks similar," you know, let me
That's
do
a
it.
compliment.
I'm
Yeah,
not
it's
saying.
probably-
I'm not-
probably-
Here's the thing: it doesn't matter how far back she attributed to a black person. It cornrows. Cornrows are cornrows.
But at the same time, I'm sorry, Janelle, are you finished? We're still keeping ourselves separate by saying black people
All you
can do
have
this
is
and
hard-
white
no.
people can do this.
It's not saying you can do this and you can not do not. If you're gonna do something that black people do, pay homage.
Homage.
Homage. Don't you
Admiration.
give me no quack. Don't you childish. That was childish.
What's next?
It's like this. Here's the thing. I think you're missing, and I feel like you understand it, but you're just missing what we're saying. I honestly think if she would have paid homage to saying like, and some I can't even think of what she could possibly say. Or even if she didn't pay homage, it's just a thing like this. You can't say hair is hair and that black people are fighting to be so separate when we're literally just reiterating why we can't do it. So how come you get to do it?
Mhm.
So for instance, if you was to walk into a job interview with your little puffball and forehead out, right? You would be looking to them. You would look like you just got up.
I understood this.
So-
I understand this. I completely.
All right, so for instance, if you was to braid your hair in cornrows, you would look like they would think, oh, so you're about to get some weave in. No, because that's just a hairstyle. But to them, our culture is fashionable. That's why it's upsetting, because now it's a fashion when it's a lifestyle for us.
I get
There's a
that.
difference between a fashion and a lifestyle.
I get that. But I've gone into an interview with my hair like this. I've gone into an interview with my hair braided. And when I open my mouth and when I speak, you understand why I'm here, and you understand why I now have your job.
Not everybody articulates.
I get that.
And then
not
but
everybody
then-
even get the option to get the chance to articulate themselves.
And I understand that completely. But if you can't say, I'm not going to go into something because of how I look. This is who I am. This is how I was born. So I'm going to keep respect in who I am as a person, and I'm going to carry myself with confidence, because I'm not going to change myself based on how I look to someone else.
What you're describing is how the average black American has to look at their lives day to day, not the actuality of what a black life has to go through day to day.
But I understand that as well. But what I'm saying is I'm not going to feed into the whole black people are oppressed, so therefore we have to do X, Y, and Z to
No one's
keep
saying
afloat.
that you should do that. We're saying that if you're going to call us, put it this way, stick to your word. If you're going to say that it's nappy, and if you're going to say that it's uncultured,
Don't do it.
uncouth, don't do it yourself. Don't sit there and turn around and say now it's a fashion.
But who says that Kim Kardashian felt like or black hair is uncouth? We're putting one or some of white people's prejudice or some of their opinions onto all of them.
Because she fought so hard to look like a black woman, but then she's not. Why would you want to fight to be something you're not?
Why would we want to? Why do we pay $500 for long weave? Why do we pay money to do all these things?
Society,
We have to.
We don't though.
But the thing about it is, you saying you understand things.
Because I literally do understand. I'm just not agreeing.
Well, as a person who, I don't wear weave because I never tried it, but braids and stuff, like it's the same concept as weave, is to protect your hair.
I get that.
So I don't think it's for like, oh, we want to look like white people. Nobody wants to look like
It's
white
not.
people.
It's not like it's a subconscious thing. Like, sorry, weave was introduced. Actually, white people had hair extensions before black people did. And so I think weave was introduced to black people, or hair straightening to start off with. Our hair has to be straight because it's unprofessional like this. That's what I'm stating. So when our hair is straight, we can get a job more likely than us walking in with natural hair.
For that?
I'm sort of blaming both parties.
You can't blame both parties. How are you going to blame the oppressed person for trying to conform to what the oppressor deems
Because you're trying
necessary?
to conform to
How are you
what
supposed
they're
to
saying.
survive? How are you
This is the
supposed to
thing.
survive
You
if they
can-
deeming that necessary
Here's the thing.
to survive in society?
You coming from a 21st century aspect. You are talking about something that has been ingrained into the psyche of a
So
black person.
reverse it.
But you are saying reverse it, but yet you still fall into play to this current day. It is easier said than done. The black psyche has been manipulated by white people, and not all white people, I should say, but they have been manipulated systematically by white people because over everything. From everything from their socioeconomic status to the way they live, to the way that we walk, to the way we talk, to the way, while some people just give up, to even where we live. So you can't say not conform, because when you are oppressed, 9 times out of 10, either you realize or you don't. And the ones that did realize were dead before the ones that didn't realize. So they wouldn't be able to spread their message. It's so much easier to sit there and say, then don't conform, don't do this, don't do that. But everybody has to abide by rules. And rules are created out of what? Fear.
And rules are meant to be broken.
Our laws, our restrictions were created by the fears of those white predecessors that created them.
I
For
understand that,
black
but just
people.
because you're fearful of me does not mean that I'm going to change who I am to make you feel comfortable. I'm not going to do that. And even if that is ingrained into who we are, now that I do recognize that, I'm going to do everything that I can do to reverse that with me, for my sister, for my children, for whoever I can affect to grow up in this world.
Yeah, but your examples are not proving for that. Your examples are proving for why black people act the way we do now when we're upset about stuff about this. Because we're not going to stop being unapologetically black. I don't think no sane black person in this 21st century, 2018, would do it. Those are what your examples are proving. And you're actually going against your own argument by saying that. I'm telling you that no black person is saying, I'm not going to be black because you want me to conform. We're telling you, because so many years and because you have ingrained to us that what we are wrong. Oh, now you want to be like us? It's like one of that type moments. Like, oh, so you was down from jump. Now you want to do it. Like, now you want to be a part of the gang. You wasn't sitting with us at the table. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like that now. That's how we're feeling. Like, so that's why we're saying you can't say the N-word. That's why we're saying don't get dreads now. That's why we're saying, because we're offended because we were told so long to not be us. And now you want to be us and call it a fashion when it was our lifestyle that you denied us from. You denied us from our heritage. You denied us from our culture. You denied us from our names, our families, our this and our that. And now you want to put it on like a mask. And now you want to put it on like it's some type of dress that you can take on and take off. Like it's some type of hairstyle that you just put on because you think it look cute, when black girls got to do it so they hair won't fall out. That's why it's so offensive, because we've been told so long to not do it. While black men still to this day don't think growing their hair out is a masculine thing, because we've been told by corporate white America that it's effeminate for a man to have long hair. And that when black men have long hair, that they're no longer just effeminate, they're a thug now. But now white people and other cultures want to grow black culture dreads. They want to do black culture. It's not like everybody's copying everybody's culture. I don't see a bunch of Spanish and white and black girls walking around wearing geisha outfits. I don't see a bunch of ponchos being worn around. I don't see nothing but black culture being popularized as a fashion, and I don't get why black people don't understand that they're manipulating our culture. Not all, but not all of them are doing it to offend, but people that are doing it and it's offensive because you're ignorant to it. And now you're arguing with me, and you're supposed to be down with the team.
But I agree completely I agree. I completely agree. But they do that with all cultures, because I would say
in America?
No, like
that's what we're talking about. You
just said you don't see people wearing ponchos or geishas. They in America will say, we don't want Mexicans here. We're going to build a wall. But you'll go to Cancun or Cabo for vacation. How
cultural appropriation.
I'm agreeing with you. Okay. Is what I'm saying. But it's not just us, is what I'm saying. It's from multiple cultures.
But in the S, it's not about. Don't ever lose the same fact that there's happening to everything. Think about our war. I understand there's wars happening everywhere, that all minorities are suffering, but sometimes black people got to focus on just black people. And sometimes we got to focus on just our fight. And in our fight right now, everybody wants to appropriate us. I believe in China, they just banned hip hop.
Oh, yeah.
They just banned hip hop
culture
because of an artist, and they deemed hip hop as a negative influence when hip hop was a source of poetic expression for black people. Now, the reasons why they banning hip hop in there are probably unrelated to why black people, but the simple fact that they had to take a culture from us. They didn't take country music. They didn't take Spanish music, even though Spanish music is lit. They took black culture. They took black. That was hip hop and rap. No matter how much you like it, mumble rappers, whatever, it is all a form of expression. If you don't like the content of what's going on, and the songs change the content of what's going on in their neighborhoods, because they speak in nothing but stories that came from their neighborhoods. They speak about being in a black ghetto. 21 Savage, I love 21 Savage. But the simple fact is, he's talking about stuff that he's seen and he did. Whether it was right or wrong, sometimes it was necessary for him to survive to get to where he's at today, so he can be a bigger influence on the kids. I just seen him posting a video of him going to kids against drugs and violence. And he's a blood. And he was involved in drugs and violence. Sometimes you got to be in it to tell people not to go towards it. Mm-hmm. So that's just like, that's the black struggle, to fight so hard to not be in something we were forced to be in, and then later been told that it's cool to do now. So you got to earn your stripes, and they'll never earn their stripes until they go through 450 years of oppression. But you know, you listen to WYBF Switch Up.
Hey, yo, man, it's your man, Griffoutt 2 F2Ts, aka DJ Griff.
So you know, we're gonna give y'all one more PSA, and then we're gonna hit y'all with some tunes.
The legal ID.
Some legal IDs,
You know what I'm saying?
You heard me?
We're gonna get back on track. Hey.
Oh, look, what motivated me to join the Bears?
Griffoutt 2 F2Ts, aka DJ Griff, and I'm here with Black X.
Yeah.
Still got our special guests in the studios. Right now, we're gonna take a little switch because this is a switch up. I seen a post. They said black parents don't apologize; they just start acting nice. And we was just laughing how true this is. Like honestly, you could be on punishment the day you get off punishment. Hey, you wanna go to the store with me?
My mom just started saying sorry to me. She just started saying, "Oh yeah, my bad, I apologize."
My bad is not
I've
apology.
never heard my mom say
My mom be
sorry.
like, you know I love you.
You know.
You know everything I did was for y'all. I be like,
She be like,
I just be stressed.
your mom's favorite line, bro. Why you doing this to me, Amir?
So,
Amir, why you do me like this? Everybody, first of yo, black parents always got one like thing that every other black child can relate to. Like I know when my mom was upset, she say my whole name slow. She'd be like,
Why you clear your throat first?
She'd be like, Xavier. I was like, oh my god, what did I do? I started thinking about every bad deed I ever did in the last 48
Start getting
hours.
nervous.
Did she catch me?
Did she catch me? Did I do something?
Bro, and then they be calling you like that and it just be nothing. Like,
It'd be
that's the
nothing.
remote.
Like my mom
Turn my
had,
light off.
I never forget, my mom had the remote in her room on her dresser and she called me in to get it. And I'm looking at her like, Yvonne. Like, it was so deep, I had to look at her by her first name. Couldn't call her by her first name. But I
Yes, I had to think it.
had to look at her by her first name. Like, I don't feel like it.
That's why it's
Why
just like,
Why don't we call her?
I call my mom Diane all the time.
Yeah, alright.
She know I be joking.
My mom hit like a gorilla. She
Yo, stop with this gorilla stuff.
My mom slept with an open palm. It just hurt. Like I told Amir the other day my IKEA story. Like, listen, y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all if y'all ain't heard it before. I was in IKEA with my mom. It was a heart-shaped bed on a Lazy Susan, basically a rotating heart-shaped bed with all this lace around it. I was
had lace on the bed?
It had lace on the bed. I was like, ooh, that's a freak bed. My mom just looked at me, and the next thing you know, my face was hot. I didn't even see her slap me. I just felt heat. It just hurting, and I started screaming. Like, I was scared. Like,
I can really picture your little ex screaming in the middle of
bald head boy, like looking like a. And then at the time, I was coming back from my school. Our colors was green and tan, so I had a green turtleneck on, looking like a green exclamation point, just sitting there like screaming in IKEA.
I can never call my mom by her first name.
Yeah.
I call her by her last name sometimes.
What's your mom named Pamela?
Pamela Phillips.
Listen, y'all. See, what me and Amir do, we got a mom list.
That's nasty.
Why you gotta
Wait.
You really just exposed though. That's
He
so
included you in
nasty.
that joint.
Me and Amir got a mom list. Moms we gotta watch out for because they look kind of young. So we gotta be respectful to our lady friends. Because
you looking at me like that?
Because that's nasty.
I was saying,
You got a mom list?
I didn't know about this list until just now.
That's cool. I had to put Amir in the
It
hot
wasn't.
seat.
It was a verbal. It was like
It's not written
It's
down.
not like right now. Can't tell him the location, bro. You see he's scratching his head, he lying. You know what they said?
no, it's just
Got lice. Oh, no, I'm lying.
I'm black.
No, you can't.
I thought that's racial
Can
prejudice.
black people? My hair too peasy to get.
I thought I had lice at one point in time. Because I went to school with white people.
Can we not?
Oh my god.
I thought
No,
it
I'm
was like
serious.
scientifically
No, but
that we couldn't get.
Yeah,
it.
like,
No, we
people out
can't.
here
I
is too
really
rough.
don't.
I thought it was like
I think it's
green
our hair is too oily.
oily. Yeah, that's what I heard.
My hair gum dry. So.
It's
My hair always dry.
Amir
No, my
probably
hair
got
is
lice.
My scalp, my tip be first
Amir
seven.
probably got lice. I'm doing just dead.
Alright.
That's why he got migraines all the time. They just be having funerals.
That's not even fucking. You know I've been suffering for years.
Amir being there, his eyes be like.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
You know what?
No, don't let her in. She's banned now. No, bye.
Someone told me.
She really wasn't.
You really not gonna let her in?
No, we're not letting her in. No, get out. We are on air.
Hi, Janelle.
Bro, you changed the whole thing.
Exactly.
She
Like,
just took off her jacket.
Oh,
what you about to go train with Rob?
Don't she got like a secret boyfriend on campus?
Yeah, Janelle do has a
That's
secret
we
boyfriend.
so
Those
sexy
who don't-
can't steal
For
it.
those who don't know on WYBF,
We so-
our
We
suburban
so
princess,
shenanigans.
We so
princess
shenanigans.
is
It's his
now
segment.
having an affair with someone.
An affair.
Affair? What? I'm not married, so how?
We have a scandalous moment.
She over there blushing. She's like,
She's like, oh my god, guys, I just keep
she's
seeing
like, you
him.
gotta come visit when they done doing rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, do they do rounds in the apartments?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You know, always do
You know
around
they
everywhere.
do. You know they schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to
Undercover
this.
cop, yeah.
Back to this topic. So, question. So earlier, Ayana pulled up the topic that Kim K, because she has a black husband and black children, and her family deals with black people, does that give any other white woman the right to say the N-word or appropriate culture of black people because they have black offspring?
No.
You said
I said I don't think she. I didn't say
you
that.
said her husband's black.
I said I don't think she did it intentionally to offend black people.
No, she did. I
No,
don't
of
believe
course
she did.
not. I don't think so.
I don't believe she looked in the mirror and was like, yeah.
No,
Right,
she's
she's
like,
black,
she's
so-
just like supposedly ignorant.
Yeah, I just think she's ignorant. I
There's
mean,
certain things-
most of the family's ignorant.
This is the thing. People gotta hold on.
Exactly. First of all, with the whole Kardashian clan, they're all
Oh, you call me
I mean,
man.
that's the
Yeah.
Kardashian clan.
like
Oh, no.
The KK.
Most of the
KK.
names start with K, too.
they,
I'm
all
saying.
the names
How-
are
You
KK.
said most other clans start with K too.
I'm just saying their whole I don't pay attention to them. Their whole life is a joke to me.
Yeah.
This
All
is
of it.
I don't know how
Here's
people
what I
follow
have
it.
to say. It's not so. I personally thought, because I do photography as well, I thought that the picture was untasteful for the simple fact there was nothing artistic about it.
I thought it was a cute picture. I like their glasses. I like the eyebrows.
What picture you talking about?
The one with just her breast out.
Oh, you talking about
Which
that?
one are you talking
The
about?
one where her like nipples blurred out, but she.
With the braids in?
Yes.
I just saw the selfie.
This June. Did she take it down with this?
How many pictures does she have to take with it?
Right, she just showing it off, I guess. But
So it's like,
That's not cute.
that's not cute. Like, I get it. It's a female. She can do whatever she want. I'm not judging her for it. It is a nice picture, but there's nothing artistic about the picture.
she's just doing it because she can.
Are you saying it's
Yeah.
not artistic because it's Kim Kardashian?
I'm saying it's not artistic because it's just straight up nudity. Like, it's just like, here, look at me.
Nudity is artistic.
Yeah, implied nudity is artistic. That's just nudity. There's nothing artistic. What makes you think about that picture? I wonder what's underneath that blur.
I think she just was fishing for some likes. I think that about everything.
Yeah, I don't respect.
I don't know
Yeah.
them, so
I don't know.
I'm
You're
pretty
a little
sure.
bit of a player hater. I don't know.
No, I just don't respect them.
No, I don't. I'm not gonna say
Like-
I don't respect them. I just don't. I don't know them.
I respect their hustle. Like, they get money.
They get money.
They
got
get
famous
money.
off a sex tape.
They get money.
Yeah, I respect your hustle. You got money. But everything that you do to get it, nah.
What they do to get it, they all entrepreneurs. They all entrepreneurs.
They get the bag.
They getting them pesos.
But for her to, they started off of her having a sex tape.
If I could start off with sex tape, I would too.
I wouldn't respect you for it.
I wouldn't. Your respect or the millions. I wouldn't.
Okay. I'm just saying, I wouldn't respect you for it. I'm not saying you gotta agree with it.
I mean,
But there's certain things I won't do for money.
That is true. That is true.
here's the thing. Let's put it this way. Where do morals get you in this world?
Where do they?
Like, as far as like realistically, let's just think about it. Like, a lot of good Samaritans go through this day to day. You know, I'm gonna live my life right. I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna be this and that. But they broke. So like,
But money
if you
isn't
had
everything.
money isn't everything.
More money
But that's
creates
what
more
broke
problems. They have different problems that we can't even fathom because of how much money that they have.
Exactly. So I want
those problems.
I want
Now you don't know what those problems entail. You can't say you want something.
You
don't know
have
what comes
problems
with it.
based on the decisions that you
I want to
made.
learn from personal experience what those problems are.
Okay,
So you're just happy with the problems you have?
I'm content. I'm not.
You're content without knowing that there's more.
I can honestly
More
say,
problems.
if I had
Everything-
money that they have, I would not have any
Problems aren't always negative. Sometimes problems are life changing.
But you don't know what kind of problem. Their dad is a woman. Like, you don't know what kind of
That didn't happen
problem.
because he had money. That happened because.
But
he
it's like out in the world. Like, the whole world knows that your dad is now a woman. You don't know what it's like. I mean, no, he's a woman now. You don't know what it's like to
He
grow
probably
up
been
in that
single
lifestyle.
for 5 years.
You don't know how many self-esteem issues that they have. They literally change their whole
What
body
does that have to do with them having money?
because when you have money and you're in the spotlight and everybody's looking at
But not
you.
everybody who has money has fame.
I'm not saying that, but in the instance of the Kardashian
You
Kardashian
are
family,
prone to more drug use.
Because
You're-
you can afford it. But yeah, but
because
you
you're
don't have
bored,
the
you don't
money.
have anything else to do.
No, if I got money, I'm gonna
I
be
will admit
bored.
their problems are different, but I don't think their problems are harder.
You don't know, but I'm saying we don't know what they go through.
Would you rather be poor or would you rather be like rich? Like, would you have poor people problems? The poor people problems are really hard. Like they're really hard. They're really hard. They're really
I
hard.
would probably say poor people.
And you probably haven't really lived to be poor. Like, I'm sorry, being poor is hard.
I've been poor,
But then if you've been poor, then you.
but I also know that money does not constitute everything.
Yeah, but
money
like-
is not everything.
It isn't.
It isn't, but in our society,
Once
your
again,
money will
Take you
you're
places
basing it
sometimes.
off of society.
Alright, take you places sometimes. But what I'm saying is, like, I guess rich people problems could be like you gotta deal with embezzlement. Like, ain't no person
Exactly.
worried about embezzlement.
You know how many
I
people are
understand
probably
that.
after their lives? She got robbed at gunpoint.
I
Hotel.
understand
You
that.
don't know, like,
But
what it
poor
comes
people
to.
get robbed sometimes too.
This
I
is
got
true.
robbed. I
You
got robbed
say,
at gunpoint.
and I'm poor.
I got robbed for a crack phone at gunpoint. Like, what did you say?
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah.
But it would be more likely that people are plotting against you when you have money.
I could sleep at night knowing I'm okay with that.
Alright, cool.
So but every stage of life has problems.
Exactly.
Pretty much.
That's what I'm saying. So you can't say that just because they have money.
I'd rather have rich people.
I would rather be poor and happy than rich.
I think if I was
And
rich,
more
we didn't say
rich-
that. We didn't say poor and happy than rich and sad.
But more, but you like,
didn't say
if
that.
you look at all the celebrities, all of them are either
Not all.
not all of them. Most of them have like drug issues. They have
Don't say
a lot of them have
not a
drug.
lot.
I think
say a
I think
select
it
few.
just depends on who you are, cause
I
like
think you should.
it's like people who are like us who have drug issues, and then there's
If me
famous
as a
people like
person,
us.
True.
I have self control. I don't want to get addicted to anything. So I'm not going to be out here popping.
So it depends
pills
who
and
you
like
are
that.
as a person.
I barely drink at that.
Right.
That's just them and the influence they have around them.
I think if I was rich, I'd be bored.
Exactly. I do a lot of charitable work. That's it.
It's just like when you're poor, you have a means to go get it. Like you're just like, oh, I'm trying to chase the bag. When you already got the bag, it's just like,
You
oh,
don't have work
You know,
ethic.
Yeah, I think that's just. I think I'll get lazy if I was rich.
Yeah.
What if I got my money morally?
exactly.
Then you
I
got
sleep
money.
good at night, you know?
I'm not saying all rich people are bad. I'm just
Yeah.
saying you don't know.
Because there's like people who I look up to who are famous. They don't even do drugs. That I know.
That you know.
That
You don't
you know of.
You don't know
Exactly.
what's going on.
But what if I know Seneca and she do drugs, but I never knew she did drugs?
She puts you in there.
Like, what if I did drugs and you guys didn't know?
Then we wouldn't know.
But that's not saying anything.
I'm
like
not saying
rich
that all rich
versus
people
poor.
do drugs. That is not what I meant. I'm saying we don't know what kind of problems come with it.
Being
And
rich.
they,
I
and
want
they don't
those
know what type of
problems.
problems come with being poor.
Yeah, okay, they don't.
Rich problems is way better than poor problems.
But you don't know that, so
I
you
do know.
can't say
Wanna
that.
know why? Because they still rich.
But why is rich?
Because they still rich, and most of them don't kill themselves.
Most
But there's a lot of
poor people who kill themselves too.
Exactly.
So I don't think money is the issue.
Exactly. If you have issues, you have issues.
I wouldn't have this shit.
One Cavalier Radio. This is GriffX Switchup with your host Griffoutt. 2F2Ts. I'm here with Black X. We don't black in, we black out. And we got a special guest right here. Introduce yourself, sir.
Yo, my name John, aka John Sky.
John Scott. What you do, bro? What you do?
I do everything. I do music, I do photography, fashion, everything.
So it's out here, just doing everything. We
Yeah,
need more people like that on this campus. Black men doing everything.
For real.
We're for real. We got some leaving, we still got some still here. So that's good. So can you do us a little? You going to do something live for us right now?
Yeah, I'll do something live right now.
All right, bet. All right. So this is John Scott. Everybody, listen.
Alright, John Scott. Shout out to Sway Beats. Yeah. I was a painting, but she was a motion picture. I gotta praise the Lord and let the melody flicker, finding out the death of you, and so the plot got thicker, tripping off of Avalon to make the time go quicker. Living like a king, so I treat her like a queen. Never settle down, so you know we always make a scene. And I'm floating on a cloud, I guess you could call it nine. Something's always lost, because I'm looking for the time. And I'm stuck inside my head, because you cross it through my mind. My clothes white, her heart's gold. My mind tight, her soul's old. My boy's right, her friend's cold. I live life, she live bold. Travel around the world to find nothing like this. I say you jump inside of many, find nothing that hit. Gotta capture every scene like we taking a flick. Line up any woman, you'll be the one that I pick. And I'm standing on these haters and it's making y'all sick. Whoa, leaning on my windowsill, wonder how does your touch feel? Fighting just to keep it chill, but you got my heart if I must be real. Your vibe be on some craziness, your aura be so radiant, your mind is like an indigo, your swag be on a different flow. You keep teasing evil, so your smile is unforgettable. But you see supposed to chillin' though, let me get 1 minute, yo. You been on your grind and I like the way you do it. You been running through my mind, running around here for a minute. Can you take the time just to get to know me for a little bit? Can I take you out, show you around this for a little bit? Sit under the stars, let me hear about your dreams. We can talk about life and decipher what it means. I ain't trying to sound corny, I ain't trying to sound whack, but girl, you should be something missing. I ain't even know I like it. Alright. So,
Hey, that was John Sky, everybody. You know what I'm saying?
That was live on air on Cavalier Radio 89.1, WYBF, GriffX, and Switchup. So where can we listen to you more stuff? You got like a SoundCloud or
yeah, you can add me on SoundCloud, John Sky, JONSKY.
John Sky.
Instagram for the flicks, everything at _John Sky _ I do clothing, so you can follow my clothing page at Skyline Attire, SkylineAttire.com, everything.
I'm also his manager. You can follow me at Lil Kanye. LilKanye.com. That's what a K-K-O-N.
Oh, we talked about them K's earlier.
Yeah, man. Listen, man, we was talking about your family, Kardashians and all that.
Word, that ain't me.
Dance with my dogs in the nighttime. Trap with the chickens like Popeye. Money changing colors like Tata.